Batman certainly has heritage from video games, comic books and movies. We've all certainly become accustomed to the world's best detective. But now, we're in the realms of another remaster on Xbox One and PS4, and just how does it stack up against the originals and those PC releases? Well, I'm not going to answer all those questions just yet, as I got my copy on Saturday morning. This is the first contact look, which again will cover mostly the performance on both machines, but I'll have a detailed head-to-head up at the weekend that I'm currently working on as we speak. So let's cover the basics. What are we looking at here? Well, on Arkham Asylum on PS4, we're looking at a 1080 image, and exactly the same on the Xbox One. But the game doesn't surprisingly target 60 FPS. Instead, it looks like it's running a double buffered 30 FPS target, and this is causing a few flips over that frame rate. Thus, we're seeing an average of around 31 or 32, with high points of 35. On its own, not perfect, but not a showstopper. With the game's pre-rendered movie sequences using Blink Video also in abundance, you can already see that frame pacing is an issue in these still, even after all these years, and being re-rendered with the new engine and model updates, including texture work. Now, this frame pacing issue was persistent in the PC version more than the consoles, and it looks worse here on the remasters, which gives us a slight answer to where these stem from. Now, it also carries over into the gameplay, I'm afraid, and yes, we see frame pacing issues consistently throughout play, and this includes walking down corridors or simply looking around your surroundings to work out the detective area. Predominantly on both Xbox One and PS4, this is a 30 FPS title, so unsurprisingly, there's no 60 hopes here. Now, the quality of the visuals has been greatly enhanced and reworked, with additional asset quality, texture work, and additional specular and screen space reflections, along with additional screen space and shader passes on clothing and effects, but don't think this is going to look anything as good as Arkham Knight. That game was stunning. But that doesn't mean both versions are identical, because they're not. There is changes to the game over and above the identical frame buffer, effects work and anti-aliasing changes, but I'll cover those in my head-to-head. Both titles on both machines do come with a day one patch delivered on both, giving you a 6.5 gig download for Arkham Asylum here and 8.7 for City. This appears to fix some issues with texture work and quality and improve some basic issues, but it doesn't really change performance at all on both versions. Now, the game is split. Arkham Asylum and Arkham City do not have the same performance targets or metrics, but I'll cover those shortly. Here, looking at both versions on the Xbox One and the PS4, this is the base Xbox One, not the S, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference here. Giving us a title, although visually very pleasing over the original, it will be mostly unnoticed and missed here, and the 30 FPS target is not consistently held and doesn't feel as smooth as it should for this kind of frame rate. Therefore, it can actually feel worse than the original 360 and PS3 release, and this does not even bring in the PC releases available also. So on the Xbox One, we have got a view here of a slightly worse performing game than PS4. So what about City?
What are you waiting for? So close. We're almost eating. Let's finish this.
Well, that changes everything. The target here is as I originally expected, and I feel this was their last minute push to try and improve. Even though this is the newer of the two titles and therefore should be the most stressful on the engine, it actually runs an unlocked frame rate on both and targets 60, but falls a little short of that.
Sorry to disappoint you, boys.
Indeed, although it may target 60 FPS, it doesn't hit that in the video sequences, again pre-rendered using Blink, with terrible frame pacing issues even though they are re-rendered and in much higher quality. But the game itself on Xbox One hovers more around the 33 to 35 at best, even in quieter indoor sections here with Catwoman. The PS4 does fare a lot better and gives us a bit of a benchmark between the two consoles. And even though the metrics are much higher on the PS4 in certain areas, but this doesn't hold steady at all. The highest point I've seen is around 52 FPS, and it can feel smooth when it gets around those levels, as you see from the opening fight here with Catwoman. But once you're out in the city and travelling, the stuttering and juddering that was present in all versions is now present here also, and very common from the PC release as well. This is also exacerbated by the fact that frame tearing is now removed, which is a welcome benefit, But these dips do come at the expense of control and fluidity, which is common on even the PC release, which doesn't hold anywhere near a solid 60, even on pretty decent machines. But a lot of this is down to CPU usage and obviously engine issues. The game is an Unreal 3 engine in its original root, and here Virtuos were supposed to convert this over to Unreal Engine 4. But I'm not entirely convinced anymore, but I'll cover that in more depth in my head-to-head. You can also see pairbacks on visual effects with screen space light effects completely missing here now, and cutbacks on the Xbox One with bloom reduced over the PS4. Overall, not exactly a shining beacon of what was expected, and explains some of the reasons behind the cheaper sub £30 price and subdued release schedule. I do feel this is pretty much a standard DirectX 11 PC port straight over from PC on consoles, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the actual Unreal 4 engine solution dropped in favour of getting this out in time. Further evidence of this is also in the changes from the reveal trailer, now looking pretty standard to the original PC release, but I'll cover all that in my next Arkham video. Anyway, that's all I've got time for now. If you enjoyed this, me, or anything else that I've put together, then please subscribe and like to support my independent, self-funded and hard-working self and channel to keep it going and give you guys the information you deserve and enjoy. If you have any feedback on this or anything else and how I can improve, then please leave it below. Follow me on Twitter and share where appropriate. Play fast, game hard, and I'll see you on the next one.
How should we proceed? Stand down. Two-face is fun. Understood.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it does not. Mr. Dent's predilection for all things binary may not bode well for Miss Kyle.
If there's one person in Arkham City who knows what's really going on, it's her. I need to find Catwoman now.
Do better than that if you want to join Two-Face.
That's here! You were right! It's Batman! You were right! It's Batman! You make sure this hurts you, bad freak!
Without him, the rest of the room won't be a problem.
People of Arkham City. It's good to see so many new faces in the crowd. Fresh faces for the gang. Our friend Batman has arrived. Rather than cut him in two. This is my court.